Yo, it's poppin', Alpha Gamers. Guys, make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Here, we're gonna change the world. We actually are gonna change the world. Start a new program where we're doing daily check-ins. Say hi to you guys. I want to build prosperity, build success, build motivation and progress and winning. Okay, gamers, it's gamers, please. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, gamers. I'm not even kidding though. I sound like I'm a joker, but I'm actually a pretty serious person when it comes to this stuff. And the reason is because the past 5 years, I've been the Alpha Game, I've been natural gaming every single day, I've been changing the world. And what I've been realizing is, like, a lot of the things I say about myself, a lot of things I'm saying are like, hey, I want to do this. I want to become a multi-doge billionaire. You know, I want to save up 100 Bitcoins and then give them out to the people that I know closest to me. I want to win. I want to get jacked. I mean, totally jacked, ripped, you know, this thing. I want to get all the world records in the past. But these things that I say, these crazy things, they're coming true. They're slowly, some of them quickly. I'll be honest, gamers. But they're coming true. And that's cool to me. That's great. That's fantastic. Anyway, guys, make sure to give yourselves a pat on the back. Say you feel great today. Make sure to go towards the goals again every day. Like, let's try to keep going towards the goals, because that's something that is not appreciated enough in society. It's not recognized enough. Let's go for that. Let's talk about something that did happen in the speedrunning community recently. And I guess we can just talk about all of the speedrunning community. I don't really speedrun anymore. You guys know that. I'm trying to re-enter society and trying to get back on track in some of my goals in life. Also, I do think natural gameplay is so meaningful and so powerful. It can be very profitable, and I need to pursue that. So I've sort of re-entered society, taking a step back from speedrunning, from becoming a degenerate speedrunner. And but I do watch it a little bit. So one thing about speedrunning that jumped out at me, the new speedrunner.com, the leaderboards, I think it's a huge improvement. I really like it. Like, one thing about this the speedrunner leaderboards that I like is that when you go to it, the very first thing your eyes go to is the rank 1. And then rank 2, rank 3, and then, you know, you look at nobody looks beyond that, right? So but what your eyes don't go to is the moderator list. In fact, usually on the speedrunner leaderboards, the moderator list is like in the bottom right corner. It's not even on the page. You have to scroll down. That is a huge upgrade to me. That's a major upgrade. That was one of the big issues of speedrunner.com, because when you had low IQ normies, which are most moderators on speedrunner.com, boom! Most of these people, what they would do is they would go to SRC and they'd look at the webpage and be like, wow, I need to become a moderator. Moderators have so much importance and value. I need to become a moderator. And so they would try to weasel their way into becoming a moderator. This is because when you go to the page, the very first thing you could see was the moderators. They actually had a priority over the runners, and that made no sense to me. That's silly. So I didn't like that, and I complained about it for years. And I think a lot of the speedrun clicks that popped up and became such a problem, and how speedrunning became so much about, like, who you're friends with and not how good you are at speedrunning, just makes no sense to me. A lot of that is due to the nature of the leaderboards and how they were built to. You would have how are they presented and built, right? I think a lot of that actually was due to that. Now they changed that. So a huge upgrade to speedrunner.com. I'm really a fan. Get out here. I'm a huge fan, and yeah, I like it. Number 2, Mario 64. Right now, to me, Mario 64 is the only relevant competitive live speed game. That's not entirely true, obviously, but really, if you look around speedrunning, like, most games are completely dead or, like, mostly dead. There really aren't any legacy. There's really no effort or care. Nobody put time into it. No, like, huge runners are coming out of somewhere that are, like, really magnificent. Most of the storied and legacy games, the categories are dead, and the runners don't play the games. Except for Mario, it's like the only game's alive. Mario 64. It was always the biggest speed game, so we'll give it some credit there. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. I will say at least Mario's doing very well. But yeah, it's like basically completely dead. I mean, the rest of the speedrunning is basically completely dead. Anyway, in Mario 64, Liam got a 137, which is pretty crazy. It's a pretty big deal, actually. And it's the first goal time people got that was, like, totally out of reach before, or was like a meme. 138 maybe, kind of, but everybody knew a 138 was possible since Cheese got that, like, one super good run a long time ago. Like, we knew it was possible, but a 137 was just, like, out of reach. But Liam actually got it, like, practically. Wasn't that hard for him. He took a huge break before that. He just got off good fundamental gameplay, which I think is really cool because it's really cool, in fact. So on the table, 136 is possible for sure, and I think 136 will happen at some point. It's gonna be a long way, but I do think it'll happen at some point, which is cool. But yeah, 137 is basically like a big deal, and it's definitely not the last. It's definitely not the last minute mark. I do think 136 will happen, but yeah, no, people aren't giving this one as much attention as the other minute barriers, which I think is a shame because this run's like way better than the other minute barriers. And people are, I think part of the reason is because Liam like performs too well. Like he got it really suddenly, and like people don't have the time to hype it up because he was kind of out of reach for a while. There is no race for it. He just got it out of nowhere, and people are like, okay, well, I guess it's over, right? I think Liam's also technically a little bit more unknown than the other Mario 64 runners. Like, look at Simply, look at Cheese. Pungate's been playing the game for like 10 years. Liam has 28,000 followers on Twitch. Like, he's not even very big in the Mario 64 community. He's pretty small, right? But so I think that's the other reason like people kind of don't know who he is. But yeah, the guy's actually like super crazy at Mario. Honestly, he's just a smart guy. If you look at his gameplay, his gameplay is clean. It's clean. It's always been super clean. To me, that indicates the guy's smart. So that's always kind of how it's been. He's also pretty straight up about speedrunning. He's pretty focused on speedrunning. He's not one of these like celebrity gossip like entertainer guys. He's a raw speedrunner, which again is something I like. So I've always kind of liked Liam. I thought he's a really rock hard, really solid gameplay, really solid, just persona, everything. It's good news. So I hope that he does get recognized for this long term. Like, I mean, this is just something I think is not being recognized enough. I know last time he got world record the first time, I was kind of memeing on him. I think some people, because the people in the Mario 64 community know who I am. They like don't like me, or something I dabble on Discord, but they actually know who I am. I made a video kind of memeing on him. A lot of people got offended by that. Come on, guys, grow up a little bit. But in reality, no, obviously the guy's doing good work. Now, what this means for like the rest of the speedrunning world is that yeah, the speedrunning world outside is like completely dead. I think I don't know. Like, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, are there any other games that are actually like alive right now, or have been alive in the past year? Because I haven't seen any. Like, going back to the Link to the Past leaderboards just to take a peek at it. The other day, I look at it probably once every 6 months, and it basically was completely unchanged. And then number 2 is like I was looking at the board, and none of the gameplay and none of the gamers and none of the runs were really like none of them really went up to my skill level. Still, like I was a little bit like, okay, ... question mark. So I don't know. Maybe one day, but I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so, because I think now gameplay is too valuable. I think it's way too big of a deal. People just don't understand. Okay, so let's talk about Liam's 137 again. It's like a 137.53. He actually kind of bopped or kind of butchered it near the end. Like, it could have been a 137.39 or 37-ish. Either way, I think the guy got an outstanding run, so I give him a thumbs up. And part of what natural gameplay is accepting that your run is not perfect theoretically. It is perfect naturally, though. It is perfect what you got. I think that's like super cool. So also what that means is that you can beat it, and when you beat it, it's like the mistakes that you made in it don't matter, and it's not about getting a theoretically perfect run. It's about getting a practical run that exists, and it's real, and it's your best run ever. That's really what it's about. So I think Liam like nailed it there. Actually, another cool thing too is that there was this old run. So like way back when people were trying to get a 138 and like it was taking forever. Oh yeah, think about that too. From getting to 138 to a 137 wasn't that long. That's another thing. I think it happened too soon, and people are like, bro, what even happened here? So they're confused. They're in shock. So I think hopefully in time people will like process what's going on here. Now the thing is that a long time ago when people were trying to get a 138, there's this one runner who was not natural at all, not practical at all. He's all theoretical. He's all theory, all theoretical, huge ego. He was always saying, I'm going to get a 137. Screw you guys. I'm going to get a 137. I'm not even worried about 138. And no, it's not Mr. Speedrun. If you think it's Mr. Speedrun, yeah, he does it all the time. No, it's not him. It's this other runner, and he was okay. Top 10, top 15. A lot of theory, a lot of practice, a lot of like, best star in the world on the spreadsheet, right? Best time in the world on the spreadsheet. But no real practical runs. And then like runs would come up, he'd fail a run. He's like, I have a headache, I can't play. I'm not feeling it today. I'll play tomorrow. I'm just gonna practice for 8 hours. I'm not gonna do any runs. Just excuses would come up. A lot of potential, but again, nothing practical. And it's like he would always say, "I'm a 137. No worries. It's gonna happen." Nope, never happened, right? That guy never moved anywhere, and his times never went anywhere. Yeah, you have a runner who actually did get 137. How did he get a 137? No, it was being straight up about it, gameplay. It was being straightforward about the gameplay, practicing gameplay, going one step at a time in the gameplay, getting the gameplay clean and consistent. And guess what happens? New strats come out. New run-ins come up and they introduce new things. Okay, people agree that this is faster than this. You do the runs a bunch and you realize you're doing major things wrong. And you get better at the game over time. Everybody does, right? And eventually 137 becomes an achievable goal, a doable thing. And you're going to see more 137s as time goes on. And you're going to see 136. And it's not by getting some ridiculous guide run. It's not by practicing it forever and then denying reality when you can't succeed. Like, you practice forever, great. You go into the runs and it's not working out. You're doing something wrong. Like, these excuses, throw those away. You're doing something wrong. And you don't see, whoa. Almost slipped. You don't see runners, you don't see many gamers or competitors do that. Like, most competitors they do all this theory, they do all this practice, they buff their ego up, they go into the gameplay, they're wrong, they fail, they lose or whatever, which is obvious, and they lie to themselves about it. They just pretend it didn't happen. They pretend that there's other things going on, there's other circumstances, and then what happens is they don't learn. And then inevitably, after a short period of time, they quit because, or they don't even quit. I mean, they don't even quit. They just go in this like an infinite loop of like, I am going to do it, and then I kind of hover around the scene. I'm not doing runs, practicing here and there, getting really good at certain things. They never commit. They never are able to quit. And to me, that's a big ego thing. It's a problem with gameplay. It's the number one problem I think people need to fix and naturalize their gameplay. All right, gamers. The number one thing you want to fix right now if you want to improve your gameplay is your gameplay naturalization. You want to make your gameplay more natural, less egotistical, less based on ego. Make it more cleaner, simpler, more natural. You can always make gameplay more natural. It's not a on-off switch. It's a thing you can always improve. Now, I will say, if your brain is natural and you're thinking natural, that is kind of an on-off switch. Honestly, it kind of is an on-off switch because it's like you're solving the problem wrong versus you're solving the problem right. Like, you get the answer right, you get the answer wrong. Kind of is an on-off switch in that regard. But at the same time, I would say it's not an on-off switch because you can always improve at it. You can always get gameplay cleaner. Like, when I discovered natural gameplay, it's going to be really like a year and a half or 2 years for my gameplay to really get clean. And it like leveled up dramatically, but it took a while for my gameplay to really get clean. And it's getting cleaner. Like, if I kept playing Link to the Past, of course it would get cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. It never stops. And that's what I think is scary for people who gameplay is not natural, because they kind of peak out. Like, you're going to mechanically peak out. But when your gameplay is not natural, or when your gameplay is natural like me, your gameplay does not peak out. You can always get better at decision making. You actually see this in games like chess, where the game's kind of basic, but they just keep getting better and better at it, and it doesn't peak out. I was reading this manga Kaiji recently, and yeah, I know it's fictional, it's for fun. I know that, but it does illustrate something that happens in real life really well, which is that something simple, very simple, like limited rock, paper, scissors, is actually a very deep game when somebody has really good gameplay. There's actually a lot of depth to this stuff. I think Kaiji illustrates that really well. Even though it is fiction, that's not that important. Anyway, I've coached a number of people in Smash, and they all do the same thing wrong, which is they all want to win the next tournament or perform well the next tournament. And I complain, all of them say, it does not matter. Do not focus on that. Just forget about it. In fact, forget about it so much, like, you can try to focus on it, like, it just is not relevant. None of them changed. None of them changed their opinions. None of them have changed their motivations. None of them have changed their strategies. And that's kind of the problem here, is that when you're trying to hyper-focus on winning the next tournament, you're not focusing on long-term development. You're not focusing on winning in the next tournament 2 years from now. That's so brilliant. When I discovered natural gameplay, is I was winning 2 years from now. I said, okay, I'm going to win 2 years from now. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to win 2 years from now, not tomorrow, not next week, 2 years from now. And it actually happened. Why? Because I had a clear plan. And it's really easy here to think about correctly when you are thinking naturally and correctly. It's really easy to think about, because what's happening is, check this out. You can't radically improve at something overnight. Right? It's just not possible, right? It's never going to be possible. You can radically improve at something over a growth period of time, right? Which could be Could be a few months, could be 6 months, could be 10 years, could be 2 years, right? Over a period of time where it allows for there to be growth, you can radically improve at something. So why are you trying to radically improve at something overnight? Like you're trying to win a lottery that's worthless. That's totally worthless, right? If you're actually trying to develop a skill, you're looking at a growth period of time, and then you're saying by the end of that growth period, I need to become better at the game. You're never looking at the short term. So why is somebody's goal to win the next tournament? It's just not relevant. That's coin flipping. That's trying to win a lottery. That's not relevant to gameplay development. It's negatively affecting you because you're practicing, you're playing against people, you're tryharding, and you're fundamentally learning the game to win the next tournament, which is a lottery system. And so you're creating strategies that are lottery based. You're not creating strategies that are long-term winning based, natural gameplay. This is unnatural theoretical gameplay you're developing. It's affecting you negatively, and yeah, this is like the number one issue I tell people. Don't care about winning the next tournament, and they all of them ignore me. Every single person I've coached at Smash ignores me and says, I gotta win the next tournament. I went 2-2, I got top 30, got top 12, like it's okay. Dude, I'm like, it does not matter, man. It does not matter. You could have won that tournament in the craziest upset in the world. Not relevant. You could win that tournament, the next 10 tournaments, craziest upset in the world. It's not relevant. Because what's going to happen is if you're not actually good at the game, you're going to peter off. You're going to taper out. It happens to a lot of top Smash players, top Melee players. I don't follow Smash, 5 or 6. You see that in that game too, but the game's changed too frequently. Like I like Melee, it's because it's had the history. Remember Westballs? Remember SFAT? Westballs was like top 8 world, top 5 in the world or something. Crazy, he's winning tournaments, he's a threat. He's irrelevant now. Why? Because he was focusing on the next tournament, never focusing on long-term gameplay development. That's what happens. The same with SFAT. Like he's totally irrelevant now. Actually, I think SFAT's okay now, but he's not winning tournaments. He's not top 5 in the world. He's not top 8. He's not a threat in the next tournament. He's just a guy. He's decent. Who he's a role player. He's a role player in a double win bracket, and he's supposed to body people worse than him. He's supposed to get upset by the new newcomers, or he has a close set, and then he gets crapped on by the top players, right? And that's really who SFAT is. It's hard to say, dude, but that's what happens when you focus on the next tournament and you focus on your mentality, whatever that means, and you don't focus on real long-term gameplay development. Okay, gamers, what's the hallmark of success in winning in long-term gameplay development? Obviously, it's decision making. That's like the hallmark of skill. It's decision making. That's why longer games and more complex games are always regarded as better display of execution than shorter stuff. Right? It's always been about that. That's why nobody cares about 16 star, because there's not enough. It's not long enough. There's not enough decision making. There's not enough complexity in strats. Right? You always go for the yellow stuff, and you basically are just rolling frame perfect stuff. And if you get them all at the same time, it's like, hey, you win. Melee's never been about that. It's been very complex, high-end decision making. Same with 120 star and even 70 star to agree. Although I think 70 star is kind of bogus. But 120 star, what do you get? You get complexity, tons of complexity. You get strat diversification, right? There's tons of different strats. You need to have good decision making before the run in order to define which strategies are the best. In fact, you got to go even deeper than this. You got to be so good at decision making that you know how to find good strategies, right? You need to be able to practice to learn and discover new good strategies. And that's called complexity. That's values decision making. Also in the runs, it's a long run. When do you reset? How much do you reset? Which strats do you go for? There's a lot of complexity there. There's a lot of decision making there. But decision making really is your peak of gameplay. And that's why I like Liam's 137.53, because I think he, more than these like tactical, theoretical, like, I don't want to call them losers, but like they're not winning. I mean, they're losing, right? They're role players. They're supposed to lose. They're losing. They're all focused on mechanics. I gotta have the best mechanics in the world. Like I gotta do this 100 times in a row. Best mechanics in the world. You're not winning though by doing that, because you're maxing your mechanics out, but it's like your decision making is not leveling up. You want to level your decision making up is easy. Naturalize your gameplay. I'm not even kidding. How do you naturalize your gameplay? Well, start thinking critically about gameplay. And if you think correctly and critically about gameplay, you're going to see a huge pop in your success. Okay, you're going to see a pop in decision making because you're thinking logically. Think about that, right? So that's also why I criticize mentality so much and SFAT so much, because there's no sense of logic, and then their decision making doesn't improve because there's no logic. Like these are not people who create a tree, really, a tree of logic, because how do you create a tree? You need roots, and then you build up. So, and then you build branches off the trunk, right? So if the trunk's wrong, the branches are wrong, right? And the branches are like strategies. And if there's no trunk, you can't have branches, right? So when you see someone with logical gameplay, it's dependent on that foundation. So when you see someone with mentality, they just come up with like some new crazy mentality that like, yeah, I always do a 10 jumping jacks before every run, or like, yeah, I always try to breathe a lot, just breathe a lot in my games. And it's like, that's cool and all, and like, where's the logic though? Where's the foundation? How is this relevant to gameplay? I mean, why is this relevant to gameplay? Do you do this before every run? Do you do it in practice? Like, what if you did a run in the timer? Like just straight up no timer, would you still do it? Like, I don't know, I'm kind of confused. Where when you actually develop logic and then you create new strategies, you would do that in every single run. You would do that in practice. You would do that if you did a run with no timer, because it's fundamentally correct. It's fundamentally logical, right? It's clean. So when you go back to mentality, it's like, where does this come from? I just never understood that. Please, if anybody has a defense for mentality, or maybe a more complex definition of mentality than usually what you hear, come at me, because I've heard the dumbest things regarding mentality, and I'm just so frustrated at this point. Like, when it's 2021, guys, and we're still talking about mentality in like the dumbest way possible. Like, I just don't understand it. I'm just lost, confused and lost. Like, I just don't understand. So, yeah, I want to go into that conversation more, but for right now, let's go back to Mario and let's go back to the decision-making process. I think Liam has good decision-making, clearly. Now, he's got a clean decision-making. He's got a clean palette, which is big. It's not hard to have a clean palette. It's not hard to have clean, decisive gameplay if you are good at thinking. And I think this guy, I think he just showed this like super well. He did not become a one-and-done runner. And like, why is it so big to do this? It's obvious, gamers, because look at what's happening. He takes a 2-year break or a 1-year break or something. Doesn't matter. He's got good decision making. He gets back into the game. He identifies good strategies. He's able to implement it in his runs instantly. You can't make this up, gamers. I mean, I've been talking about this for freaking years. His gameplay is natural. He knows how to think, right? So what happens when he comes back? Literally, instantly is able to identify this strategy is good, put it in the run, immediately it's good. Maybe it's a second generation success story, right? First run it doesn't work, second run it works. Immediately it's good. Where you see theoretical gamers, and what they do is they create these strategies that don't work, put them in runs. They don't work in runs, obviously. And they'll work in practice, because, come on guys, practice is not relevant. It's not a run. And then they do runs for months on end with these strategies that work, and they don't go anywhere. Like, it makes no sense, right? So, and like Wilco, I gotta call you out again, because I watch your stream probably once a week. I see your stream every day you stream on my phone, because I wake up at 3 a.m. I go to work and he's streaming. But this guy is the opposite of a natural gamer. He's theoretical out the ass. His gameplay and strategies are it's all theory. And when the theory's not founded on anything, it's not a good theory. It doesn't work. You get bad runs, right? So just heads up. Heads up there, man. Anyway, let's move back to gameplay and decision making, and with Liam's story here to get 137. So he got he's good decision making. Comes back, is able to identify good strats, practices a little bit, implements the strats. They work, obviously, and then because he has good decision making, he's also able to execute them and get good runs, clean runs. Look, guys, if you're minus 20 every run, it's not hard to have a good mentality and then PB. Like, if you're minus 20 every single run, it's really not that hard. Maybe the secret to mentality is get better at the game and then you have a good mentality because you're winning everything. Why did nobody ever think of that one? Like, how did every Smash player in the world that complains about mentality, none of them think maybe if I'm just good at the game, I'll have a good mentality because I'm winning everything, right? It's not that hard. Give me a break. Anyway, back to reality. Back to practical natural reality. So anyway, yeah, I think it's huge. And here's another thing about Liam. Let's say the game changes. Let's see new strats come out. Let's say he takes another break. He can re-implement his gameplay. He can readapt his gameplay. Can change. He can move around. He can do other categories. Like, why? It's because gameplay, natural, good decision making. Gameplay's natural. If you're all mechanics, you max the mechanics out, you kind of burn out. The game changes, you're kind of doomed, right? So, just key note there. Key point of information there. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys. I'm here on campus, WQ After Hours. and I'm gonna go home. Let's do another gameplay video next on Saturday. Is my next day off. Maybe earlier if I'm feeling good. But yeah, let's do another gameplay video soon. I want to talk about Smash. Like if something happens in the Smash scene, there's a big tournament or something, we can make a video about that. Or if there's any good world records or PBs, like let me know. We can do a video about that. I think we're just do vlogs here on campus. I'm having a fun time on campus, honestly. I'm getting kind of old for the campus kids. Like I'm definitely not like a college student anymore. I actually just, like don't act like a college student. I don't talk like a college student. I just don't identify with the scene at all anymore, which I used to when like 4 years ago when I walked around here. I kind of was, but not anymore. So interesting how that's have changed over the years. Like I'm actually more mature than like 20 years now, which is weird because I've always been really immature. But I'm actually like more mature than a lot of these kids now. But yeah, and let me know about some tournaments or PBs or stuff. I want to make the next video on Smash because I want to talk about coaching people, and every time I coach somebody, same problems come up. And also, it's something I don't like about coaching. So coaching right now in gaming and esports is really popular, and there's a lot of people that are coaching full time, like M2K, and making a lot of money off of it. And I don't. Maybe the people have slightly improved results, but I don't really think it's doing anything for the people that are paying money for this, except feeding their egos, which is the whole point of why it exists. Drugged Fox does a lot of coaching. A lot of Ginger does a lot of Falco coaching. It's totally worthless. First of all, if you're playing Falco in Melee and you're trying to win, I don't know. I would say reevaluate that. For years, Falco has clearly not been able to win. Years, I mean like 5 years, almost 10 years, I know. It's like rare. At best he wins. Sometimes he wins as a secondary. There's not a lot of hope for Falco, unfortunately. I love Falco. I only play Falco, Blue Falco. But that's just the reality of Melee. Now, I do think you should reinvent, because Melee is about reinventing itself. I mean, Jigglypuff was not relevant for 6 years, and then suddenly just came out of nowhere. I mean, look at who's won all the tournaments the last 5 years. Half of them are Jigglypuff. Like, Melee is a game about reinventing your character, reinventing yourself. So I do believe in Falco long term, but whatever people are doing with Falco is worthless. They need to stop it. Like, just totally change path, because it's completely worthless. And yeah, the coaching that's going on, and like I coached my pupil, and he got 48th place instead of 59th place or whatever, however the bracket comes down. It's not relevant. Like, this is totally worthless. So I would like to touch on that a little bit, because I think a lot can be done with coaching. I actually think coaching is good long term. I think good right now, and it's improving players, it's a good thing. It's just that the Melee scene is so bad at thinking creatively and disciplined about gameplay that you see a lot of bandwagoning, and you're currently seeing like this sense of bandwagoning about coaching is just not useful. But yeah, I gotta go. I really gotta go. So I'll pop in out later. Make sure you're watching. Subscribe, about comment. Oh, I want to say one more thing. It's actually really sad. One of my viewers, my Twitch viewers, and actually YouTube viewers as well, said his son died in my last video as a comment, and I haven't seen him in a while. So I think it's actually true. I get a lot of troll comments. I don't know if he's trolling. I don't think he is. I think he's serious. Yeah, I have straight up, man, like heart to heart. I'm sorry about that, dude. Sorry to hear that. Obviously, it happened to me recently. Not my son, but my brother passed away, and yeah, it's just absolutely heartbreaking, dude. Like, I really feel. I don't know. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I haven't been through that. I hope I never have to, but yeah, I'm really sorry about that, man. And yeah, this guy who this happened to, he's in a way, he's a friend, right? I treat my viewers like friends, so I get like my Twitch viewers get my nerves. I mean, come on, you guys, I get my Twitch viewers do get my nerves. It's not personal though. It's not really because of you guys. It's just it's the streaming platform. I just don't like streaming, and speedrunning. But yeah, I mean, do see you guys as friends, so that's just sad, man. I don't know if there's anything. If you need to talk, I'm horrible talking. And I don't like doing it. But if you need to, or you need something, man, maybe pop in the Discord or something. But yeah, that's a tragedy. And it's kind of why motivated me, just in general, to make more videos, especially the vlogging, because the same thing happened with my brother, and it's like, I don't know if it's mental illness or if it's like just depression in society or what. Like, I think it's worth just reaching a hand out and just saying, hey, putting yourself at risk and saying hi to somebody, and they blow you off. I think actually improves their mood. And yeah, it puts you at risk, and sometimes it makes you feel bad, but if you have a good heart and you're putting yourself out there, I don't think them being negative to you matters. And I think that you're actually improving general society. Like, I think if we want to get out of this hole in society, we need to step up. So that's kind of why I'm stepping up, putting my money where my mouth is and actually just trying to like say hi to you guys and force myself to make a video about vlogging because I know a lot of you guys used to really like my videos, and I don't think my videos really matter. Well, I don't think that's true, but my videos they have no like central importance to my income or my day-to-day living, like in that regard. But I think it's worth shooting my shot. I have a good one, guys.